Does NAFTA mean nothing to you, sir? You're supposed to learn about our neighbors to the north.
No. I want you to stop there. No, NAFTA doesn't mean a damn thing to me.
This is Then You Ruined It, the podcast that will last until one of us makes it weird. Hope you have a short commute.
So, I have had an interesting July.
Tell me all about it, Jason.
I'm going to have to, because it's all my life has been for the last 2 weeks. So, keeping things brief and in a nutshell, well, we got back from vacation, and my wife had been complaining about heartburn, and it sucked and was keeping her up at night, but she was trying to deal with it with Tums and, all that stuff you deal with heartburn with. And got back from vacation, it wasn't getting better, and she was also feeling a pain elsewhere, and was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the hospital and get this checked out. All right, you do that. They do the tests, say, okay, got to have a heart cath. Okay, heart cath. Find out the results of that, which, no, I don't know what a heart cath is. Don't ask me. I know it stands for catheterization, and don't.
Wait, they put a catheter in your heart?
I don't think exactly, but it does involve something. It's basically testing your heart and seeing, what the issue might be and what we need to do after that. From that, they determine triple bypass.
You win the jackpot.
I mean, quadruple, I think, is the jackpot, but it's not damn far off. So she had surgery, massive, major surgery, and kind of out of the blue, and it caught us both off guard. And it's been a time taking care of the kids and going to the hospital to see her, and obviously, overjoyed that she's now home and recovering, but the recovery brings new challenges, and we're all just dealing with it. And of course, she's dealing with the most. So I'm not going to complain. This is mostly going to be me talking about how I nearly ruined things worse, and not for my wife and not for her situation, mostly for me and the kids, like the leftovers. You could call us in this case.
We put the triple in the bypass. Dumbo and the turds.
No, thank you. Don't like that one. Reject it. So the first issue came up when my wife had received some flowers from her work. And of course, at one point she told me, okay, you need to take these home. Okay. So I will take them home, and I get them home, and they're in like a box, not a vase. It's like a box. And I'm like, this is odd. Like how are these like getting nutrients? Are they? So, all right, let's take them out of the box and, figure it out from there. So I do that, and I lift them out, and I see, okay, they're bundled with like a bag around them. That makes sense. I've seen that before. So I'll cut this twine off to undo the bag, and we'll see what's what. So I undo the twine, and it's really heavy and kind of getting lighter. And I'm like, why is it, what? I don't get. So I look around the backside of it, and all the water is pouring out of this damn bag. I'll pause right here to say, besides people who are trying to keep fish alive when they take them home from the pet store, who the hell puts water in a bag? You put it in a vase, you dumbasses.
You're not going to send flowers in a vase. That's for the people receiving the flowers to do. Or else you just end up with too many vases.
We got... That's trust me, that is a problem we have had, and we now are dealing with again, because every other flower arrangement we got came in some kind of a thing that was holding water that you just put the more water in and you're good to go. This one was a bag of freaking water.
Exactly. It was. So, how did you not see the water? Like, first off, was it a burlap sack? Why couldn't you see through this?
It was not see-through. It was not burlap. It was... it wasn't newsprint, but it was like a slick newsprint kind of looking thing.
Soggy newsprint bag? I don't think so, Jason.
It wasn't soggy. That's the thing. It was like slick. So it had like a treating on it that didn't there was no evidence of water other than, maybe reaching your finger down in there and be like, oh, that's water, which I didn't do.
Sloshing as you moved it around?
No sloshing. No sloshing.
There had to have been sloshing. I've put some water in some bag, sir, and it sloshes.
Let the record show. Mr. Shinny is talking about putting water in a bag. We'll ask later on how he knows about this water in a bag phenomenon.
Jason's like, let the record show Jason doesn't think water goes in things.
That's not true. Now, I will say that I have seen flower arrangements come that have like the sponge thing that the stems are stuck in, and that is like absorbing water, so it's actually giving water out to the plants, as it needs it. And that can be a way that they keep it. So that's honestly what I thought it was. And when the water just starts spilling out, the kids were in the family room, which is luckily, just a stone's throw away from me, watching TV. And I just start screaming. I'm like, hey, help, get in here. Nobody, nothing, no reaction, no turning around, nothing. So I yell, the electronics are getting wet and you won't get to use them anymore, because the tablets and stuff were on the counter and I was trying to move them. And my son liked to have left his upper half on the couch while his lower half came to help. He jumped up so quick, and my daughter came soon after that. Like, what's going on? I was like, water everywhere. Help me.
They put water in a bag, children. Water in a bag.
Once I got it under control and I was able to manage the water and get it cleaned up. Yeah, that's what I was saying constantly. Like, who puts water in a bag? Come on.
I want our multitude of florist listeners to write in and show just how common the water in the bag treatment is. Let's shame Jason. Shame him for his failures.
So later on, at telling other people this story, I learned that I think it's mostly something that a grocery store called Wegmans does, which is they want to be super fancy grocery store about everything, and they really just have high prices and unnecessary frills about everything. The only reason we shop there is to get cookies for the kids, because they do decorated cookies year round, and they love going to get a special cookie that has Pokemon on it. Oh, that's so fun. Otherwise, I don't set foot in that place. So, and now I certainly won't. If I do, it'll be good to go buy the flowers and just scream, who puts water in bags?
I want to send you to Canada.
Why?
That's where they put milk in a bag.
Okay.
Have you never heard of Canadian bag milk?
I have not, no.
Does NAFTA mean nothing to you, sir? You're supposed to learn about our neighbors to the north.
No. I want you to stop there. No, NAFTA doesn't mean a damn thing to me.
You do know what NAFTA is, right?
Yes, North American Free Trade Agreement. Okay, everybody knows what it is. They just don't give a shit.
It was us, Canada, and Mexico going, well, everybody else is in a club. You guys want to make a club?
Exactly.
All right.
Yes.
Let's call it NAFTA.
Yeah, it was a thing until it wasn't.
It's still a thing. It's just never been a thing anybody cared about.
Well, it's a thing you heard about and you learned about in school. And so, yeah, I know what it stands for. Not a thing I've actually ever thought about in any way, shape, or form. So, we got that cleaned up, and that was, we moved on from that. That was a thing we still laugh about, but okay. Now we're on to the next unnecessary, we'll call it an unforced error on Dad's part. He was making a lot of bonehead plays that week.
I appreciate the baseball reference. Carry on.
So, I think it was actually the next day. I was making dinner for us, and it was just a pork loin, which is something you cut the bag open. In this case, actually, you didn't cut the bag open. Left the bag closed, and it just vents in the oven. What?
Okay, water in a bag blows your mind. Meat in a bag, simple as?
Yes.
You don't make any sense.
You cook meat in a bag sometimes. It's called sous vide. Look it up. You don't put water in a bag. That's for fish.
Ooh la la, Mr. NATO.
Yeah, somebody's been looking up foreign policy recently. NAFTA and NATO's on your mind. I'm dealing with a sick family member, and you're just looking up. What is the foreign policy?
I just can't wait till you to mention something from the Warsaw Pact. I'm going to have that joke ready to go in the chamber.
Please do. I'll have turned off my microphone and my headphones. You go right ahead and talk to nobody about whatever the hell that is. So, as I was saying, I make the pork loin. Super simple. I've done that many times. Even when you have to take it out of the bag, I'm fine with that. You can take the meat out of the bag and make it. It's pretty simple. You just got to put a thermometer in it so you know when it gets to temperature. Though apparently I was even doing that wrong. A chef friend of ours told us oh, no. Do not get it close to the temperature they tell you have to get it to. Get it right about here. That means it's done, but it's actually going to taste good still, too. It's like, okay, I'll trust you, but if we're all crapping our pants tomorrow, you're coming to make my next meal.
This is on you, sir.
Yeah. I will mail you my underpants. And no, that is not the first time I have given that ultimatum. Is that a promise or a threat? You'll find out.
It depends how safe this meat is.
So pork loin in the oven. That is a set it and forget it kind of thing. All right, now I need to do the potatoes. Okay, I've asked my wife how she usually does these. This is simple as well. Boil some water, then put them in, and they boil for a little bit longer, and voila, you can add some spices or whatever you want, maybe some butter, but you got potatoes. Couldn't be easier. So I get the water boiling, and we have an open gas stove now, so that I can see the fire really going and getting that water boiling. I say, okay, time to cut the bag and put the potatoes in. So I cut the top of the bag, start dumping potatoes, and I don't know if Mixia Spitlick was in the house. I don't know what kind of imp was watching me, but something got on that counter and cut another hole in the damn bag. I don't know where this came from. So I start dumping, and I get like 3 potatoes in the boiling water before all the other potatoes just start dumping out of the bottom of the bag and go right into the stove where the open flame is going. And I'm like,
Kids, get in here. The potatoes are ruining the electronics.
It's water again. My greatest nemesis.
No, bags are your nemesis.
I don't know. We're just going to call everything in the kitchen nemesis of mine at this point. So yeah, I freak out. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Okay, I got to move this pot. Doesn't matter if it's not boiling anymore. That's not important right now. I need to get these potatoes off the open flame before I have flaming potatoes. That's going to be an issue I have to fix. So I'm using like the spoon that I was going to cook them with and like flinging the potatoes like towards the back wall. Just trying to get them out of the fire and not catch this spoon on fire as well. And they're flinging every which way, and I got them all out finally, and I was like, you know what? I know it's dirty down there, like underneath in that grill area, but also I don't care. And it's going to cook off whatever might be on there, and I'll tell the kids later on, and they won't even know, and that'll be that. So did that and cooked the rest of the potatoes. It was fine. I still don't know what happened to that bag of potatoes. I made another one since then, and I cut one hole, and then I searched the entire bag. I was just like, no, nothing, no extra holes. This should work.
You don't think it's possible that you cut a hole and then forgot?
Oh, it's entirely possible. Oh, yeah. No, that's...
Okay.
I don't know definitively what happened, but no, that's entirely a possibility, yes. So
I mean, I still think it was a ghost, but... for your sake of you getting any sleep tonight, you could just be a dum-dum.
Yeah. I think it was probably a dum-dum. So, tragedy averted. We had the potatoes. Good dinner. Move on to the next day. On that day, I have dinner and watch a movie and get my son to bed. My daughter's still awake, and I had told her she's gotten really into Bagel Bites recently. You know, some kids get that one snack that they just latch onto, and it's like every time you go to the store, did you get more of those? Yeah. Why'd you get more of those? I need more of those. Like, that's all I eat. So I tell my daughter, okay, so you can make them while we're gone, and you can do them in the microwave, but you just have to know how to do them. So I'm going to show you. And so I say, okay, we'll do one test one, and say that we'll take this. They come with a crisper tray, so we're going to take this cardboard silvery looking tray. No, it's not metal. That's not the issue here. I did put metal in the microwave. It's still dumb, but it wasn't metal in the microwave dumb. Put one in the crisper as a test and say, okay, here's the instructions. All right. So put it on high, and since it's frozen, it says for 3 minutes. So, okay, we're going to put it in there for 3 minutes. So put it in and have it going while we're talking, and it's still cooking behind me. And I'm like, oh, I can really smell that. Oh, now it smells like it's burning. Oh, that's not good. Why does it smell like it's burning? So I turn around and look at it, and I mean, it's not caught fire, but it's definitely smoking. I'm like, oh God, stop it. Okay, stop. Okay. And I start freaking out because our smoke detector, or maybe it's carbon dioxide, I'm not sure what it is, but it goes throughout the entire house. Like, it's a network of them that's hooked up, And if it goes off down in the kitchen, it will go off in like the kids' rooms. Which is good if there's an actual fire, but annoying if it's just a little bit of smoke or something from me burning something on the stove. So, which has happened. So I flip out. I open the microwave and then I'm like, oh wait, no. I see the smoke like going up towards this ceiling. I'm like, yeah. So I grab a towel and I'm just flipping it and waving it like the most emphatic 4th of July fan you've ever seen, and just jumping, and my daughter's just laughing at me like, Dad, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to keep from waking up your brother.
That's why I'm screaming now. Yeah. To keep your brother asleep.
I was doing it very quietly. I was like whisper screaming. It was probably very unsettling. So I was able to avert that disaster, and there was no alarm going off, at least. There probably should have been, because, oh my God, the smoke and everything else is just like, oh, it smelled so bad in the house, and it was so hot. Once we got that under control, I was like, okay, well, let's look at the steps and see what happened here, because I clearly did something wrong or whatever.
Let's do a little post-mortem on this dinner.
Yeah. So, okay. Look at this scorched earth that's in the microwave. Let's take that out and say, okay, instructions, 3 minutes. It says 3 minutes. It says 3 minutes for 12. Oh. Okay. I probably should have reduced that time. That's the problem.
See, honey, this is why we learn fractions in school. If I'd done that, you could have had a bagel bite right now.
Yeah, you could not eat what I created. It was, oh my God, it was just a hockey puck. So yeah, I remembered now to, reduce the time. And so I was cooking something a week later, I think after my wife had come home, and was cooking a couple of things together, and had to average out the time and the temperature to make them both work. The daughter's like, so you can do it for that, but you can't do it for the bagel bites? And I was like, hush. And no, obviously not. So I did not burn down the house in any one instance. I also didn't soak it too badly. So those are my Mr. Mom mishaps that I had while my wife was away.
But all the kids and all the electronics survived. So
I mean, everything still works. Kids still work. Stove still works. I still have a family and a wife who laughed at me, but has forgiven me for anything. So a success.
Yeah, that sounds like a win.
You get to joke about. You can have inside jokes about Dad to tell for years. So
yeah. Oh yeah. At least one of those stories is going to get told at your funeral.
Don't make any bagel bites.
He's burning bagel bites in heaven right now.
It's pissing off a new family up there until we get there. You have to reduce the time if you're doing one. I know that. Appreciate the help, St. Peter.
I just hope there's no water in a bag in heaven. Because if there is, Dad's going the other way as soon as he can. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Then You Ruined It. If you enjoy our flavor of nonsense, please like and subscribe wherever you found us. And please share with your friends and cooler family members.